I think that the one goal was almost fully achieved. It's the destruction of the ability of the Iranians to produce a nuclear bomb. We destroyed most of the facilities which are connected to the project. We killed many scientists which are the hardcore of weaponization group. Mm-hmm. And it will take the Iranians to come back to the same level of capability, few years at least, without taking into account the fact that Israel might act under the radar and kinetically to postpone it in the future as we did in the past. Without taking it into account, it will take the Iranians a few years to build the infrastructure that they lost. About the ability to produce missiles, that was the second goal, and probably we destroyed most of their facilities. Again, it will take them years to rebuild it. They still have between 1,000 to 2,000 missiles, and they have enough launchers to launch it into Israel, so the threat is still exists. But the next acceleration that they had in mind cannot be implemented, I don't know, in the next 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Listening Benjamin Netanyahu the previous weeks, especially the first week of the war with Iran, we were coming to conclusion that Israel wants to topple the regime, take down the regime. So it was one of the targets that Israel didn't achieve at the end of the day, to topple the regime.
No, it was not in the list of the goals. We understood it. It might be kind of side effect of what we did, but it was not one of the goals. We knew that we cannot do it. This cruel regime is very strong, is ready to take measures that no country is taking against its own people. There is no opposition in Iran. There is no leader to the opposition. So the whole, nice words about the regime change hadn't been connected to the reality of Iran. In the defensive side, the Americans are fully integrated into our defensive system. There are 2 batteries of THAAD, which is the equivalent of the Arrow 2 and 3 that we have. They are integrated in our system, and they are with our capability defending Israel. In the offensive side, we did all of what had been done without any American aid, active aid. Of course, the aeroplanes are American-made, and part of the munition is American-made. We bought it in America. But the Americans didn't take any part in the offensive side. There was one particular, very defined issue that we couldn't solve good enough. That was Fordo. We don't have the heavy bombs to do it. The Americans came for 40 minutes, they bombed the place and went back home. That was the only intervening of the Americans in the defensive side, and we can continue and we can manage continuation of the war against Iran for years, if will be needed, without the intervening of the Americans. We need their help in the international community. We need their help because we are buying part of ammunition and all the airplanes in the United States of America. But we don't need any active interference of the Americans in the offensive side. We succeeded to intercept between around 85 of the missiles which had been launched into Israel and reached Israel. Some of them didn't reach Israel, so we didn't intercept them. But from the missiles that could reach Israel, we succeeded to intercept 85%, around 85%. I think it's a very good result, but no question that the missiles that succeeded to infiltrate the defensive system of Israel made big damage in the places in which they landed. But at the end of the war, when you understand that they didn't succeed to neutralize even one strategic facility in Israel, they didn't kill even one military guy around all Israel. They killed one, and a soldier which was at home as a civilian with his family, and they killed the whole family, the mother, his wife, and himself. So he's a soldier formally, but he was killed as a civilian. They didn't succeed to destroy any military facility of Israel. They succeeded to destroy civilian hospital. They succeeded to destroy civilian institute, Weizmann Institute, the biggest center of Israel for the next generations of medicines against for cancer. So it's a loss for the world, because probably they lost the next generation of cancer medicines, because Weizmann Institute is one of the most important centers in the world for this issue of providing the world with new ways to fight cancer. So that was their biggest success, and one civilian oil facility near Haifa. Other than that, they succeeded to hit are civilians. We have 28 or 29 civilians which had been killed during the whole war by these missiles. It's a big price, but it is much less than what we expected. And they didn't succeed to hit even one important target in Israel.
Show and tell. It's incredibly dramatic, but you need to come to us fast because we will have...
When the president comes and say, I have an agreement of the Iranians to ceasefire, Israel cannot say no to the United States of America after the help that we got during the war from the United States of America. For us, it was few days earlier than what we needed to complete the mission, but it was good enough. I mean, the fact that we succeeded to destroy almost all the targets which are connected to the nuclear project, and most of the targets which are connected to the missile capabilities, was good enough. And this ceasefire, which was initiated by the United States of America, was accepted by Israel. It was not initiated by Israel, but it was accepted by Israel. When the President of the United States of America, with the super good relations that we have with the United States of America and the cooperation in the war and before the war, came and said to the Prime Minister of Israel, I have an agreement from the Iranians. I want to offer a ceasefire. I don't see how, in these circumstances in which the main goal of the war was achieved, can say no to the American president. But let's see what will be the details of the agreement. There is no any detailed agreement. It's just the ceasefire itself. What will happen in the future? How the monitoring system will go? What Israel can do if they are violating the notion that the Iranians will not have nuclear military capability. It very much depends on the details of the agreement that probably will be negotiated between America, Israel, and Iran. And in the end, we have to see what is the real agreement. Now we have only a ceasefire. And I don't know what was in the head of the President of the United States of America. I'm not an expert to Mr. Trump.
Arriving here outside your house, I saw the posters, bring them home.
Yes, it's my neighbors. They think that bringing the hostages back is the most important need of Israel. I differ. I don't think that this is the most important one. The more important and might bring the hostages back is the total destruction of Hamas. But it is an argument within Israel. My neighbors think differently than mine, and it's okay. It's democracy. This is why democracy is so important to keep. We had two stages in the war against Hamas. One is to neutralize Hamas from having the ability to attack Israel. We achieved it. Hamas is not relevant as a threat to Israel. If tomorrow we will kill the new commander of Hamas, no one will ask question, okay, what will be the reaction of Hamas? It doesn't matter. They don't have the capabilities to react. They don't have the capabilities to launch missiles and rockets into Israel. They don't have the capability to organize a force to attack Israel as in the 7th of October. They are fighting now for their survival. They have one asset, the hostages. And they want for the hostages that Israel will stop the war and evacuate totally Gaza. And I think that that will be a big mistake, because if we do that, within few years, Hamas, after surviving the war, continue to be the ruler of Gaza, and he will gain again some of its capabilities, and we will have to go back to Gaza and to fight another war to prevent him from attacking Israel. And if we don't want it, we have to finish the job and to be sure that Hamas will be disarmed inside Gaza, that its leadership will be exiled, and Hamas will not be any important element in Gaza in the future. Otherwise, no third party will come in to rebuild Gaza. I don't see anyone around the world, not in the Arab states, not in the West, not in the East, that will come to Gaza to rebuild it if Hamas is still the strongest force inside Gaza. If we want to save Gaza from a very bad future, we have to eliminate Hamas. Otherwise, Hamas will remain, and no one will come in, and no one will invest to rebuild Gaza.
And what about the civilians inside Gaza? I mean, the level of the deaths and the destruction and the human suffering inside Gaza Strip.
This is the reason why we have to destruct Hamas totally. Because this is the only chance that someone from the outside, Arab states, Palestinian Authority, Western companies and so on and so forth, will come to rebuild Gaza and to let the people of Gaza to live normal life. If we stay with Hamas in, no one will do it, and they will be doomed to live miserable life in the future. The only way to prevent the civilians in Gaza from living in miserable life is to destruct Hamas totally. Otherwise, Hamas will remain as the real controller of real force in Gaza, controlling Gaza with the cover of someone, without the cover of someone, but the life of the Palestinians will continue to be miserable because no one will enter to rebuild Gaza. From all the meetings that I had with the commanders on the ground, I understand that all these accusations do not have any basis. We are very carefully handling the war. The problem is Hamas is fighting from within its own civilians. And someone which is fighting within his own family should be expected that when we will try to kill him, the family will suffer as well. It's not that we can separate Hamas from the civilians. They are fighting from within their own people. So it's their decision. And those who are telling us don't harm the civilians are telling us don't fight Hamas. There is only one way to fight Hamas. When Hamas is fighting within the civilians, its own people. And that was a decision which was taken by Hamas. So all the claims about it should be applied to Hamas. We don't have any other way. We didn't have any advice from any expert around the world how to fight Hamas without harming the civilians, because Hamas decided to make the civilians its shield, and are fighting behind the civilians, within the civilians. And this is the price that the Palestinians people is paying for the decision of Hamas.